Vancouver, what a shitty team that is, man. Sorry, going off topic, but man, I think that, you know what, Seaball, I think you can even get in the mix. You could play on that team. You can make it. You're much more visible than Pettersson, I can tell you that. They are terrible.
Clearing the crease. Oh. Clearing the crease. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome to another edition of the Clearing the Crease podcast. I'm James Cybulski along with Kami and Razor, two guys who combined for almost 800 NHL games, a Calder Trophy, and a Stanley Cup. And this week, how about this one, everyone? We got a guest who's got more than 2,500 penalty minutes in over 800 career games, stops in Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Tampa, the Rangers, the Avs, the Stars, the Hawks. And I got to say, the guy who gave us our first real viral moment here on the Clearing the Crease podcast. We were just talking about this down memory lane not that long ago. Matthew Barnaby. Barney, welcome back. And I think on behalf of all of us, thank you for helping this show pop.
Hey, thanks, boys. Love coming on. And yeah, that went kind of viral. And listen, it should. He's an idiot. Dominik Hasek's a moron. We know that.
You knew exactly what we were talking about.
You just tee me up and I can get going on it. So I love being on it. I thank you for listening. So just all the places I didn't win a Stanley Cup. Thanks for bringing that up as well on my beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you.
All right, Barney, I got to tell you, and sorry to go down this road, but like, kind of just looking at your stops and kind of looking at your numbers again the other day. If you were to tell somebody in 2026 the stops you played in, that is a dream list. Like, that is a murderer's row of like dream destinations in the NHL. And yet, like, talk about unlucky in the sense that just all those teams at that time just did not have playoff success. Like the Rangers, Tampa, the Avs, the Stars, like these model franchise, the Hawks over the last 10 years, Colorado, yes, like
let's not forget them.
Yeah, listen. Thanks for my Saturday morning, 2,500 penalty minutes. I won one fight. You're going to be my second win. You know how to really make a guest feel great about himself on a weekend, eh? Hey, you're the loser that went to Pittsburgh with Mario and didn't win a cup. Oh, yeah, Joe Sakic, Forsberg, Solani, Korea. Yeah, don't puck it up. It's Matthew Barnaby going to these cities and blowing it. No, I was very fortunate to play in some great spots. And listen, Kami won a cup, and I think he will be one of those guys. You have to be in the right place, right time, avoid injuries. Listen, I played in New York. We had a plethora of all-stars, Hall of Famers, but it just didn't gel at the right time. And you need great goaltending. And a lot of those places we didn't have great goaltending. We had great teams, and I'm not blaming them in any which way. I just wasn't fortunate to be on one of those teams. And the only place I really believed that I had a chance to win was Colorado. And David Abisher was our goalie. I'm not saying he was good. We were hurt, Yeah. Solani was hurt. Forsberg was hurt. So it wasn't the team on paper that we had there, but I was fortunate to play in some great cities with some great players. And listen, I'd love a Stanley Cup. Everyone says, don't you regret not winning a Stanley Cup? Yeah. But it's not like I didn't try. It's not like, oh my God, I went out the night before and cost us the game. Yeah, I didn't want that thing, but
you guys take it. Yeah.
No,
yeah. I'll take being in retirement, not worried about it, than the Stanley Cup ring, though.
And not to
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Barney, you had a hell of a career, and I'll second what you said. Like, Carolina, we win, and Calgary go to the finals. Yeah, we had good teams. Like, don't get me wrong, but honestly, great goaltending obviously is a must. But just as important is probably luck. I mean, it's right up there. I mean, we were lucky to get past Buffalo, and we were very healthy. We didn't lose many games to injuries or whatever. So if we didn't have a lot of luck in there, we're not winning either.
Listen, if you look at the Stanley Cup Finals, and Razor can speak to this more than we can. look at all the teams that don't make the playoffs. The goaltending isn't quite good enough. Buffalo, the last 14 years, searching for that number one. You win a Stanley Cup, your goaltender has to steal you at least one game a series because you're not going to play 7 great games in a series. You need them to steal a game. If you're in the Super Bowl, we all know that, you need a quarterback. I'm a New York Jets fan. We haven't had one for 14 years. No playoffs. So you look at the teams, and now it hurts even more because Sam Darnold.
I was going to say, your quarterback is playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Got rid of
him. Again, I'm just torturing myself. I might as well just slam my hand in a car door after this is. Jets fan, Sabres fan, loser player that goes to all these cities and doesn't win a cup. Let's keep going, boys.
Well, to your point, the goalie thing it's all about being lucky too. Like, to be a Stanley Cup winning goalie, you have to be fortunate. Like, how many guys, like, what's Cam Ward if he ends up losing Game 7 against the Buffalo Sabres, right? If one of those goals goes off your shin pads, Tommy, one of those point shots hits your shin pad, goes into the net. Maybe it doesn't all work out. Maybe he doesn't have the career he has. Maybe it doesn't work out that way. You go all through this, right? You could do it every single year where there's one game, there's one period where, to your point, Bart, it doesn't even have to be a stolen game. It's one stolen period at one point. Jordan Binnington was very average in his 7 games against the Boston Bruins, but Game 7 first period was ridiculous what he was pulling out of his ass, and now he's a winner, and it leads them to 4 nations and now the Olympics this week. So it's the goaltending is the margin so thin. You have to get so lucky to be Stanley Cup winning goalie as well.
Further to that,
question.
I think for all you guys that played and for the guy who didn't and just basically craps on the guest, for anybody watching this right now, whether it's on YouTube or watching a reel on Instagram or TikTok or X, where you can find all of us, or listening on Apple and Spotify, tell me that, I find it fascinating to hear the 3 of you talk about the component of luck. When you look at the depth that you have to go to win, you got to go 4 rounds. Like, there's 7-game series, right? Like, I would see the idea and the component of luck more, that if you're playing a March Madness style tournament, right? 1 game, winner take all, that's where sort of your David slays Goliath. Where in this particular, I find it fascinating for all 3 of you to kind of talk about the depth and the degree of luck that kind of goes into the idea of going 4 rounds and potentially winning, playing another 28 games to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, for sure. You look at NCAA, you look at March Madness, a one and done. You're going to be more apt to see that a 16 seed beat a 1 seed. Some guy can go on fire, catch fire for 1 game, and be out the next round, whatever it may be. We can go back to Gonzaga back in the day. They just kept on rolling, and now it turned their whole program around, right? That 1 year from Gonzaga has turned the program around. The Olympics is another thing, or 4 nations. You can have a guy sick. You can have a guy have a bad goal a night in that, and you can lose because it's a 1-game elimination. Typically in the Stanley Cup, the better team wins. The cream rises to the top. And over 7-game series, that's why I find the NHL during the regular season can be very tough to bet, because it's a 1-goal league and anyone can beat anyone on any given night. I think it's easier to bet in the playoffs because you're able to, for the most part, you can predict who's going to win a series or have a good idea based on the knowledge we know and the team that they are. You still need a little luck, in that 1 game where it's, you've dominated, or, a goaltender, gets a lucky save, or it goes off a post. But it's a lot less than in a 1-game series like we're going to see in the Olympics coming up.
Yeah. Barney, I actually have a question for you. I got 2 questions for you. This one kind of plays off a little bit about, the Jets in 14 years and missing the playoffs. I want your thoughts on your Buffalo Sabres. So, they've been on fire. They've played great ever since they gassed Adams, and they've kept it, the streak, but then kept it going. They're playing great. Are you a believer, or are we not quite there yet? You know what?
I'm not quite there yet, but let me say this. They are getting great goaltending from Alex Lyon. Great goaltending. They got it from him early on in the season. I think the first 5 games, his save percentage was .923, and they were 1-4. like ridiculous. They couldn't score goals.
Yeah.
Then they got bad goaltending, and all they did was score like 4 goals a game, but they losing like 5-4. Now they're getting everything. I've watched probably their last 10 games.
Okay.
And they are outworking teams. They are skilled, and they look amazing. Do I think they're as bad as they were at the start of the year? No. Do I think they're as good as they are right now on a consistent basis? No. Everything's going right for this team right now. Okay. But I'll tell you, Darlene on the back end, man, does he look good. Tage Thompson, man, does he look good. And they're getting goaltending. This team hasn't changed anything personnel-wise.
No.
They still have 3 goalies hanging around, and they haven't been healthy, so they've needed 3 goalies. But Kevin Adams, like, he could be the GM of the year without a job. Is sitting at home. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how do you go on a streak? I don't know if they hated him that much, and they're like, all right, this guy's gone in 3 games. As soon as we get back from the road trip, let's turn it up a notch. And they go like 18-3-1 over 22 games. So I'm not a firm believer. I do think they will be a playoff team. I do think they will be a playoff team, but are they a contender? Probably not yet, but man, am I happy for Buffalo Sabres fans because it's such a great market.
Yeah. I'm with you. The NHL is a better place when the Buffalo Sabres
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
When Buffalo isn't even in the playoffs, which has been 14 years, they're still like number 2-3 market in watching the games, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, maybe they're just starving. But finally, it's a hard ticket to get again. I got a good story, a quick story. My buddy had season tickets there through his family for 50 years. First year he gets rid of them is this year. Okay? All right? He's got 8 tickets. First year he gets rid of them is this year. He calls back because now his kids want to go and it's vibrant again. The Bills are out. He calls the other day. They have them for 50 years. And they go, get back in line.
Wow.
I don't. I mean, that's funny.
What
but I
a
don't know if
rinse.
I like that.
That's great. Like, I started laughing. He told me this yesterday. He was like, screw you. I'm giving you guys over $1 million, which is nothing compared to what the new Bill Stadium is going to be. Like, that's crazy, the PSLs and that. But they essentially said, we're back. Screw you. Get in line.
Beat it.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's a half a century of investment for nothing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So many different ways to go down. Look, here, the Olympics are underway. The Winter Games are going on in Milan Cortina. And I want to get some preliminary thoughts before we kind of dive into the predictions. Razor, Olympic thoughts. It's finally here for all the shit talking that we've talked about, the arena not being ready. It's ready. And it looks like it's fine. It looks like the ice is all right. It looks like they're going to play these games. Here we go. So I don't know if it was just us media alarmists ramping it up, but whatever the case, here we go. The teams are there. Draisaitl's walking out waving the flag. You're seeing the players for the opening ceremonies. How do we feel about it finally hitting this moment?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like. Again, so Barney and I were sitting together watching Canada-US last year when the fights went down. We were sitting in Brockville, Ontario, hanging out on the weekend. So that was quite the scene. Him and I emceeing the event. Just giving it to Maisie. That's the
had a couple cocktails, boys.
Yeah.
We
I
all
can
did.
see it. I can
Brock,
see it.
Brock Vegas.
Brock Vegas, yeah.
Brock Vegas got the best of all of us. And so it's not going to be that, right? Like, I think that's it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that Saturday night with the 3 fights. We're just not, it's just going to be different than that. But I'm curious, all the other teams, the Czechias, the Germans, the Swiss, the Slovak, like what that whole thing looks like. And seeing NHL guys carrying flags out. You mentioned Leon, David Pasternak did the same for Czech. Like, that's, the league's in such a better place than it was 12 years ago when they did this last. I'm really curious where hockey goes from here, but I don't have a good sense of what it's going to look like, guys. I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion because I can't picture it right now. It's been so long that what this really looks like, because I know it's not going to be 4 nations.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pure. It's not going to be 4 nations just purely on the fact. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure we got IHF rules, right? So if they pull that off at the beginning of the game, thanks.
There'll be no one left.
Here's your 3-game suspension. I'm excited to watch it. Obviously, I'm in the middle. I love watching it. I think Olympic hockey, when you have the best players in the world, I think it's incredibly fun to watch. I also see the other side of it. Like I got a little golf thing with Ken Holland starting on Monday, and he's going to say like, yeah, and he does love it, but also you're sitting there watching, you're like, oh, especially let's say when he was with Edmonton, for instance, you got Connor McDavid out there. You're like, yeah, play well, but please don't get hurt. But in saying that, you are playing for your country. God, I was kind of hoping for some catastrophes in that arena. I mean, I still got my fingers crossed for like the bathrooms not working for the patrons. So it's something like that. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be watching, as many of the games as I can. And it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out for sure.
Catastrophe would be if you can't get a beer, because I heard the concession stands might not be ready. That's a catastrophe.
That's a catastrophe.
Hey, shit your pants all you want, but give me a beer.
Good point, Barney.
Give me a beer. Listen, I'm excited to see best on best anytime. I can go back to the 84 Canada Cup Rendezvous. Those are the best memories I have of best on best. Listen, I didn't, until I moved, like when I moved to the States in Buffalo when I was 20 years old, everyone's talking like the 1980 Olympics. I had no clue what they were talking about. I didn't know what the miracle was.
Yeah.
Like I had no clue. And, the Immaculate Reception, I know that because I followed NFL, but we never followed the Olympics because it wasn't the best on best. Canada didn't send, the NHL players didn't go. Now, anytime we get to see Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby on the same team, it's amazing. I just hope, and this always runs through my mind, imagine Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are racing for a puck and one guy finishes on the other and they're out the rest of the year.
Oh my God.
That's like my biggest fear for any team, any general manager, and how they must just gas when they see their players. But I'm excited for it. I love best on best. I'm curious to see this rink. I think it favors the North Americans because it's a little bit smaller. It's not an Olympic ice. When you start looking at the odds, and we talk about that a lot, and betting odds, we all like to bet. I think it favors the North Americans more than ever for this.
To that point, Barney, I remember years ago talking to Carey Price's father. We were at an event and we were chatting, and Carey was obviously going through this incredible run in his career, right? Gold medals from the Olympics, World Juniors, Calder Cup bursts on the scene, like just checking all the boxes. And I remember sitting there saying, like, what's that like watching him in these big games? I mean, you must, you get excited for him and all that. And I was a young parent at the time as he's sharing this, but he said, more than anything, he said, it's more about worrying. You worry that they don't fail. You don't want your child to fail. And I think that kind of speaks to like, as a GM, you're watching, it's like, just don't have a Tommy Salo moment, right?
Yeah.
It's more about like, I want to see them do well, but it's almost more that fear, like, don't get hurt.
That's what makes it great, because the stakes are so high. Whether it's Carey Price or Tommy Salo, right? Like the two far ends of what this tournament's going to do to somebody. But also, and you guys touched on it, is what comes out of the NHL out of this? Like, does the NHL get better because of this, or do we have a catastrophe of an injury where this is just never going to happen again? Like even the players say, "Oh shit, we kind of screwed up. The season's too hard." Too many games in the regular season, and then we go over here and we get injured, and have we screwed this up? Like that's a big part of this too for me, is what it looks like on the other side of this. Like, does this become worth it? And the stakes are really high for a lot of different points of view on that.
Yeah, unequivocally, these guys want to be there. Like to a man, it's
no way. This is all players. This is like the players. No,
every player is. Even if someone does get hurt, and someone is going to get hurt
for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
With the amount of games they're playing,
every time. Yeah,
it's impossible not to. But unequivocally, these guys want to be there. I was the guy because I was in the airport coming back from Utah the other day, and I had dinner with a few of the Utah guys. They were all going to Hawaii. That was us, boys. They were all going to Hawaii and Cabo. And
have fun, boys.
I run into
enjoy those Olympics, bozos.
He's like, hey, Barnes. I go, where are you going? He goes, home. I'm like, then I run into a couple other guys. Where are you going? Cabo, Tulum. that was us. That was us.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost a guarantee.
I'm fast enough.
I'm going over to the Waste Management today, the golf tournament for the Saturday. 100% I'm going to see a bunch of guys there. No
Oh,
question.
yeah.
That's a good take.
They're
for
going
those
to be
guys
there
for
just
sure.
plowing them back. Yeah.
Can you send me a picture later of your hair by the end of the day?
Okay.
And your shirt.
Okay.
Put your Masters shirt on. Last time we hung out at a golf course, you had the same shirt on from the Masters for 3 days.
That's right. That is true. That is true. I'll
Marty,
send you
we
some
should
pictures.
point out, hey, this commie here, as commie just alluded to in a recent episode, this is good for business. Commie, you were explaining to us that the hair out, being back, the mane has been
In
good
Canada.
for business.
His new real job. It helps him.
Yeah.
It's a real job, Barney. Yeah. I mean, I'm still at $0 sold. Don't get me wrong. But it's a little easier to open up the doors in Canada with my longer hair. I got to be honest. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get off the schneid and make some money, but we'll see.
I think you just taser your hair before you go out.
Oh, that's a good point.
What's the old saying? What 1% of a lot is a lot, and
That's right.
1% of nothing is nothing.
It's nothing.
There's math. Okay, give me your gold, silver, bronze predictions here. How does this play out at the Olympics? Commie, you can go first.
I'll lead it off.
Gold, silver, bronze.
I was looking at this all morning. I'm going to go, at the end of the day, I just don't trust the Canadian goaltending. So gold, I'm going to go with the Americans. Silver, I'm going to go Canada. And then bronze, you know what? I got Sweden and Czech written down here. I want to pick Sweden, but I'm going to go with the Czechs because I think the Czechs are hot. So I'll go with it. So USA, Canada, Czech for me. Final answer. Purely on the goaltending. I hate picking against Connor McDavid, but the Americans got some good players too. And for me, at the end of the day, I think goaltending is hugely important. And I like those American goaltenders better than I like Canada.
Razor.
All right, so I'm expecting something chaotic to happen in that we don't get Canada-US in the finals. Now, I haven't really decided. It's hard for me to pick which team doesn't get in. So I'm going to lean towards Canada getting into the gold medal game. And the fact that they don't have to play Team USA means that they're going to win gold. So I got Canada winning gold. I've got Sweden winning silver. I think the Swedes are going to find their way through. They'll be the upset team. And then I have Team USA beating Germany, let's say, in the bronze medal game. I don't think we're getting Canada-US. That's what I feel most sure about. The Canada and the US, who wins the gold, I'm not so sure.
Barney?
Well, we obviously have a traitor in Commie and Razor. Weed must be legal where he's living right now. So I'm not a traitor. I do worry about the goaltending because you can go to Bennington. He's going to start. He has not been very good. He wasn't very good last year, and they found a way to win. Obviously, the Four Nations. I'm going Canada, even though betting-wise, I don't think they're the right play. I think the U.S., with where they are betting-wise, it is the play. It's the best value to win the gold. But I'm going to go Canada because I just can't bet against Crosby, McKinnon, and McDavid. I just can't bet against them. Cale Makar on the back end. I don't think their goaltending is top 3 in the tournament, but I think their forwards are the best, and Cale Makar plays 30 minutes a night. So I'm going to go with Canada against U.S. U.S. is deep. They got good goaltending. Werenski's having a hell of a year. They have such great forwards as well. I just think the smaller ice is going to play into the North Americans, and I'm going chalk. Sweden, I think they're a very talented team, but I think with a smaller rink, if it was an Olympic ice, I might actually pick them to win gold. They're that talented, but I'm going to go with them for the bronze. So that's exactly how the betting trends go. Canada's favorite, USA second, and Sweden third. I'm going to go chalk.
Okay. I could, Razor. I do find your hypothetical and something squirrely going down to kind of play out how this would ultimately with we don't get Canada US. Commie, I'm lining up with you. Although I do think Czechia could wind up where I think they might even find a way to kind of sneak into that. Kind of going back to 1998 with your old buddy there, Barney. But I've got US, Canada, Czechia. I think 1, 2, 3. For gold, silver, bronze.
Hey,
so
how good was Czechia in the World Juniors? What a difference! What a difference that country has made. And I remember '98 when Dom won it and how pumped they were. listen, it's great for hockey that we have more countries that are contending for gold and beating the likes of Canada, the United States. It's just better. It's not like watching women's where it's States versus Canada in the final. Why even play the tournament? Just invite 2 teams.
And that's why I have that idea. Like, think about how much better Team Germany is than they were 12 years ago.
Yeah.
They got Stützle, Draisaitl, Grubauer. Like, that's a real team. Slovakia, the same thing. Czechia, you've got David Pasternak's a super. Like, these teams are better on the bottom half, which is going to cause something weird to happen. Whether it's just the draw where you end up getting Canada, US in the quarterfinals, it'll just kind of make things random and weird. I really think that because of the bottom half. The bottom half is just so much better than the last time we see all these teams play each other.
I got one more thing to add on the Olympics. I will say, and I know it has nothing to do with hockey. It's all politics. It is too bad the Russians aren't in there.
It's brutal.
You know
it's
what
brutal.
I mean? I don't want to say it's not it is a very real tournament. Don't get me wrong. And it's still going to be awesome. But I think
just better with the mayor.
It's a hockey tournament's better with the Russians in there. So it's too bad.
Then it would be chaos. Then it's full on chaos because you're going to get a semifinal where you could get Sweden, Russia in the finals if the 4 teams are playing each other in the semis.
And we all grew up hating them.
Yeah,
changes everything.
Yeah,
there was the hatred. Rivalries.
I miss the Russians.
And everybody hates them, right? Like, that's the best. Finns hate them. Swede hate them. U.S., Canada. Like, those games are incredible.
This is what heat sells, ultimately, right?
Absolutely.
Heat sells. And this is where you think of all the moments that the 3 of you probably remember most are probably the games, and especially the regular season ones, against your arch rival, right? Superman Lex Luthor, Batman Joker, Luke Skywalker Darth Vader, Bruins Habs, right? Like, whatever it may be, Florida Tampa now, right? Like, it's like heat sells in terms of rivalries, and when you're missing the biggest villains on the block for the better part of the last
I don't know if they're the biggest villains in the block now, boys.
Wow, fair. Don't
know if they're the biggest villains in the block now.
That's what made it would have been even more interesting. Who's Canada cheering for, Russia or U.S.? Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's who. So when you're it's funny you say this, Barney, because I wonder, does this benefit? It feels like the Americans are probably the villains now, even though they haven't won an Olympic gold in, almost 50 years now. I go back to the Miracle on Ice, but it's a team that's loaded. I think from front to back, like, that is as deep a team that you're going to find. But when you're kind of the villain and it's sort of you against the world, and maybe in this case, literally, does that rally a team? Like, for all 3 of you guys, when you're going into a hostile bar does that rally the guys as a group?
Well, just quickly, I'll let Barney answer that. But quickly, don't forget, like, 2010, Team USA was the villain. Like, you're in Canada. You're in Canada amongst everybody. Like, Ryan Kessler was from a Vancouver Canuck legend who was an absolute villain in that city and that country for those 2 days leading up to that gold medal game. So U.S. has played that role in the last 15 years at least. But it is a little different, I think.
Yeah, the answer is yes. There's easy answer. You go into a hostile building and listen, the United States, being in Canada, listen, I've lived in the States my whole life. I'm as much American as I am Canadian, but I am a proud Canadian. And the sense from Canada right now, political wise, is that they are arrogant assholes. That's just the sense of Canada.
Yeah.
The United States doesn't feel that about Canada right now, as a whole, but the Canadians do because of politics, whatever it may be. But we've always had a sense that Americans are arrogant, and there's that arrogance towards them. And I think there is in the hockey world too. And now, it used to be Canada way up here and the U.S. was right down here. Now we're right here.
Now it's tight. Yeah.
That national development team that they put together years ago has really changed the landscape and money and all. It's so tight now. So yeah, they're our arch nemesis now, because now Russia isn't part of the equation because of politics and everything that's going on in the world. So I think it's awesome for hockey. Again, the thing I miss in the NHL a lot of nights is rivalries. playing in Buffalo on a Wednesday night, then going to Toronto on a Friday night. You know that rivalry and you expect it, and it's crazy. And we don't have that as much anymore. That's just evolution of our game and our society. But we get the Olympics. We know the Americans hate the Canadians, not as people. They just, that rivalry is there.
Yeah.
And they know they're the two best countries at hockey because Russia is not there. And they're the two expected to play each other. And there's that, these guys have played against each other all growing up. And there is that inner rivalry that's awesome for hockey. And that's why I'm excited.
And it goes all the way back to Carey Price's dad, Seaball. You can't lose that game. If you're on, like, again, the winning's great, but you can't lose. You can't Team USA losing that Four Nations game was heartbreaking. Way more than it was exhilarating for any of the Team Canadian kids. And that's going to be the same in this Olympics. Don't go home empty-handed.
So, go just to quickly, hypothetically, Russia's in. If Russia's in, do you see them getting on the podium with the squad that they like? With the depth of the field, like, do you think
goaltending?
Yeah,
100%,
Who's scoring a goal on?
They could win gold. They could win gold.
100%.
My only question would be, and I know who's their decor?
And that's the only
yeah. That's like, how deep do they go?
Like,
obviously they're star heavy, but what's the depth of the field look like for that roster?
Yeah. We tried filling out, the owner of the Stars was here for Thanksgiving a couple months ago. We got into this exact conversation. And he's like, well, and I was talking about the Russians. And I said the exact same thing. I'm like, man, it's not a hockey tournament if the Russians aren't there, in my opinion. And he's like, okay, let's fill out the roster for the Russians. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I went at it, and I will say, like, top heavy. But then I do remember the decor. I was like, ooh, I might have to dig into the AHL here a little bit. I'm running out of names, but
you would be like top pairs like Sergachev, Provorov, Gavrikov, Romanov, Zadorov, Orlov.
Yeah,
they'd put it together. It wouldn't be elite, but they'd put it together.
Yeah. I got one more before we're done.
Tommy, would you count with your experience? Would you have enough time incurred from your time in the KHL to count as a Russian international to qualify? Komodorov,
Yeah, Komodorov. Yeah. They'd have me fly back over there. They'd have me in handcuffs. Is what would probably happen.
Hey, I played with Zubov.
Assault charge out on me.
I play with Zubov. Zuby could come back with his 3 packs of cigarettes and still play.
Got it. I can't. Barney, I got a question for you, and this is a little off topic, but I wanted, because I saw you were there. I've talked about it on the podcast before. How did you talk to me about your Utah experience?
First of all,
going to the game, did you have the whole thing?
Yeah, the cleanest place. You fly into that city, that airport, literally every best restaurant, Maggiano's in the place. And I was like, oh my God, mouth watering already. You can eat off the ground, like, beautiful. Then you go through the city, absolutely clean as can be. Listen, shuts down early. People a little different. Like, it's a different culture, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Being there, the building's great. They're redoing the whole thing, but it's almost old school, like the Bell Center, where it goes straight up, which I absolutely love, and like Chicago, where the fans are right on top of you. Fans are pumped, man. Fans are excited for that team, and for them, they were out of a wild card spot when I first got there, and now they won 2 games in a row. They beat Vancouver, then they beat Detroit. Vancouver, what a shitty team that is, man. Sorry, going off topic, but man, I think that, you know what, Seaball, I think you can even get in the mix. You can play on that team. You can make it. You're much more visible than Pettersson, I can tell you that. They are terrible. But the whole experience was great. I can't wait to go back. Not a lot of snow, which was crazy, but I was told next time got to go to Park City, and I'd like to go back and have a few extra days to really, really enjoy it, like on a different experience than just doing a podcast and going to the game.
Yeah,
Barney,
awesome.
I've got my old Cerebral Flyers jersey. I'm ready to go.
Ready to go?
Take the skate guards off and rock and roll. You know what? Okay, I want to get to Don't Puck It Up, but just quickly, a thought for everyone. Panarin goes to LA over the past week since we last recorded. Does this make the Kings a contender? Maybe somewhat of a surprise, but not, I mean, the way the term and all of it plays out, but Razor, do you buy what the Kings are selling? Or
Yeah,
what
I mean, they
picking up?
needed goals more than anything. He's the guy who can score goals. Does it? The Contenders a stretch, but the Pacific Division stinks. Whether it's Vegas or Edmonton or Seattle, like no one can really pull away. So you have an opportunity to get a good first round matchup, but LA has to get in the playoffs. Otherwise, everyone, Kenny, Kami's buddy's going to be calling the pink slips out for the coaches.
Kami, Ken likes to make his moves.
So Kenny makes his move. I think it's a great move, and let's see if it's good enough though for the Kings.
Yeah, quickly for me, and then Barney, I think I'm with Razor on that. Like, I mean, I don't love Panarin. But at the end of the day, you watch a Kings game, it's like watching paint. And I love defense, don't get me wrong, but you got to score some goals. Yeah. And their goal scoring they can't score. So that guy, if he can do one thing, he does put up points. So, Ken had to do something. I like the move in that regard.
I say it makes them a contender. Yeah. For all the reasons these guys just alluded to, they can defend. They can defend. They're getting good goaltending. They can defend. Kopitar is still a very good player and a great two-way player. Panarin is not my favorite player in the world, but on the power play, he can score goals. This team can't score goals. Yep. So, it makes a good contender. Look, Colorado lost last year early. They're still a favorite to win the Stanley Cup. They should be. They are by far the best team in the league. You look at Carolina, very good, but LA's a top 6 team, and get to the dance, they could win it all.
Never know.
Never know.
Barney, throw this one for you. Guys, you can chime in on this one as well if you want. But, being in Ottawa, what a roller coaster season. But the Sens right now, that is putting it gently. But they've won 4 of their last 5 after the disaster with all the off-ice rumors that went down. Then you had Jake Sanderson calling out goaltending with Marilainen and yet all of that, despite it looked like this team was like one giant poop emoji, and then all of a sudden here they've rallied. Look, they've got a long way to go to try to get back into the playoff race, but the fact that they're kind of pulling it together, is there any example of a team rallying after a dumpster fire moment quite like that you can think of, Barney?
Yeah, every Buffalo Sabres team I ever played on was a colossal schmozzle. We had fights in the room. Our GM hated our coach. Our players hated each other. Our Europeans hated the North Americans because of our GM and coach, the divide. We were it was unbelievable the shit that was going on in that room on a daily basis. And Ottawa's getting pretty damn close. We're here and
they're trying.
These rumors with Ullmark. Listen, I don't know Ullmark, but I heard he's a nerd, so he probably couldn't get a girl if he even tried. That's what I've heard. So let's put those rumors to rest. That's from guys that know him very well. You just listen to the comments from Kachuk, and listen, if someone sewered your teammates, would we be the ones speaking up and hugging them? We'd be like, no comment. So, yeah, the goaltending hasn't been good. Worst save percentage in the league. They're still a good young team. I don't think they're a playoff team because they dug themselves such a hole, and such teams are playing so much better. But, yeah, it's entertaining. It's entertaining in our business now. It's entertaining here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you guys want to get down to, let's get to Don't Puck It Up. And as we kind of home stretch here in the episode, let me throw this one to you guys. And it kind of speaks a little bit, kind of alluded to it with respect to the Olympic showdown coming up. But the Olympics and the International Olympic Committee this week talked about wanting to maybe shake things up down the road. And because of climate change, they're looking at maybe moving the start of the Winter Games to January instead of February. But they're also looking at moving events from the summer to the winter to maybe increase more interest in the Winter Games compared to the summer. But let me throw this out from a Don't Puck It Up standpoint. What if hockey considered moving to the Summer Games? It's indoors. Doesn't disrupt the schedule from an NHL standpoint. It adds further interest to the sport that absolutely goes 100% dark, where everybody, even in Canada, kind of just flips off the switch on the networks and nobody's talking hockey for a couple of months. So now all of a sudden you have renewed interest in an off season. I don't know. I'm just saying, IOC, IIHF, National Hockey League, make this happen. Don't puck it up. This is a good idea here.
Interesting, Seaball. Interesting. I didn't see that. That's interesting. I'll keep mine simple and to the point. Team USA, don't puck it up. Barney just called me a traitor. People from home are going to hate me. I just picked you to win the gold medal. Don't puck this up and make me look stupid.
Oh, I'm staying there. Don't puck it up, referees. Don't make this a debacle. Don't make 10, 15 power plays a night. Get the double IHF referees that you have over there. Put them in the Denmark-Latvia game. NHL refs for the Team Canada-Sweden game. Don't puck it up. Double IHF referees.
I have a double don't puck it up.
Ooh.
Canadian goaltending, don't puck it up. If you guys don't puck it up, you win the gold, and we prove Commie wrong. You know what, Commie? Let's do a nice dinner somewhere. I got Canada, you got US.
Perfect.
And Razor, you're in.
I'm coming in. Yeah, I get the free meal either way. That's perfect.
You got Czechia.
Yeah, perfect.
And Commie, don't puck it up today at Waste Management.
Yeah.
They can get away from you in a hurry.
We need one for you. We need one for you.
I will do my best. Yeah, I got lots of passes today. I'm going to be going to 16 and 17, so I got options. So when I burn through my drinks at 17, I can just slip out of there and go to 16 and reload.
No doubt.
Barney, to that point on your don't puck it up, boy, poor Connor McDavid, for a guy who's been in the league for, why does it always have to come back to goaltending for this guy?
How about Stuart Skinner? Can't stop a beach ball, goes to Pittsburgh and is Dominik Hasek.
He's playing like Dom.
Unbelievable. It's absolutely he's the new Matthew Barnaby. Just with 100 sheets in the bank.
Barney, thanks so much for doing this week.
Thanks, Barney.
Thanks so much. Always a pleasure. And I mean, obviously, the open invitation to come back anytime you want, and always a great time. So thank you on behalf of all of us.
Hey, I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Let's have a great Olympics and keep up the awesome work, boys. Love it.
Awesome.
Perfect.
He's Matthew Barnaby. He's Commie. He's Razor. And that'll bring an end to the latest edition of the Clearing the Crease podcast. See ya.